I am 44 years old, and this is why I don't have friends. So I was asked this question because I made mention in one of my videos that I don't have friends. I'm actually a loner. Actually, the proper term here is I'm a recluse. I am just all by myself. I do not have friends. The only people that I keep contact with are my siblings and some of my cousins. I do, however, have people that are acquaintances, people that I do talk with, people that sometimes now and again I will hang out with. And when I say sometimes that I hang out with, I'm talking it could be months the last time we would have seen each other. And also my cell phone, I don't like it to be rang because I got cell phone anxiety, WhatsApp anxiety. I don't know where all that is coming from. But let me also explain where all this began. So growing up, I was always an outgoing child. I always had friends, large groups of friends. People really loved me in my community, and I loved my community back. I used to be that kid that went and led a group of kids to be naughty, and then when we came back and got a hiding, I'll be the only one that never gets the hiding, simply because people felt like, oh no, we're not gonna touch this one. These are the naughty ones, and they're spoiling him, when actually I was the ringleader. Then when it came to my teens, in my teens, I think this is where things started happening for me. I started realizing things like most teenagers do. You start realizing your insecurities or something that you are insecure about. There's pimples that are growing on your face, and some of your friends don't have those pimples. And then you start getting into this comparison. Oh, my friends look better than me. Oh, they don't have pimples. I'm always using this chemical and that chemical to chase away the pimples, but your skin tone is beginning to just get destroyed. And sometimes you look at your friends, they come from families where the parents, they work good jobs and they provide for them. And then you come home sometimes to be told that tonight we don't have anything to eat. Drink this water, drink a lot of it so that your stomach is full and go to bed. This is real. And so you go through all of those things and you compare yourself, and you guys already know that comparison is the stealer of joy, and my joy was stolen. But I also learned defense mechanism, pretend to come from this nice family that has everything when I actually had nothing. People actually thought in high school that I came from a wealthy family when actually I didn't. And it's funny because I went to an all-boys school. It was private and very expensive. And I never told them how I got there. As a matter of fact, I got there through scholarship because somehow, my IQs are something else, and that's what always got me into these great schools, including tertiary institutions. My mom didn't pay a cent, and it was always like a miracle. But I digress. However, when I started becoming in my late teens, I noticed that my circle of friends, which I kept very, very small, it was just the three of us, and I realized that we were having differences of opinion. Our ambitions were not the same. Some were ambitious, some were not ambitious at all. I was highly ambitious, of course, because I'm looking at my background. It is horrible. I want to get my family out of the situation of poverty, at least to middle class or something, when I start working. Now, the other thing that I also noticed is that I was always pleasing my friends. Not only was I pleasing my friends, but I was also becoming a people pleaser in general. I never said no. I didn't know how to say no. I found it difficult to say no. And all of that just weighed heavily on me. And then I began to become a little bit depressed and realized that having people around me has never made me happy. The only time or the only memories of me being happy was when I was in my preteens going down into my toddler days, like I just said, how everything used to be. Now, when I went to tertiary institution, I had one friend because all the other ones dropped along the way. I think we outgrew each other, which I was very hurt about, by the way. I was hurt that my friends that I grew up with throughout my teen, they were now looking elsewhere and having new friends. And I found myself very envious of those people because those were my friends. These are people I loved. And I thought they loved me back. I will tell you now, there is nothing more painful than a friendship breakup. If you thought breaking up with a girl or a guy was painful, try friendship. So I've never experienced such pain in my life. Then you get to tertiary institution and then you look around. But anyways, at this point, I don't think I made any effort to make friends. However, there was this boy that always sat next to me in class. And eventually we started talking and our conversation turned into a friendship. And then I was like, okay, this is good. I'm not going to have any more than this one. Somehow he also did not like a large crowd of people. We became friends. However, I felt betrayed. In fact, I was betrayed by this individual. I think this is like 8 months to about a year into our friendship. I told him something in confidence and then he twisted it around and told other people something that I didn't say. And that really, really messed me up because the question was, hey, you don't look bad at all, but here you're having girls that like you. Why don't you like them back? And I was always a late bloomer, always been a late bloomer. And so I was not seeing what they were seeing. And those girls that apparently liked me, I did not reciprocate. Not because I did it intentionally, that's because I was not feeling any type of way. And then there will also be these guys that will act strange and I'll be like, what's happening? But eventually people made their own conclusions and I didn't care. So I realized that when you also on your lane, people have a tendency of creating stories that don't exist and only exist in their heads or something that sounds juicy to them. So then that's when I realized that people are not really good people. They are good people, don't get me wrong. However, when people don't understand something, they tend to create a story that doesn't exist. So that kind of like pushed me away from people. Like every time I would experience something negative, I'll be pushed away and I'll be pushed away. By the time I turned 23 and I started working, again, the work environment, you meet colleagues and some people want to be your friends. That's when I said, no, I don't think I want to associate myself with the word friendship ever again because I have been burnt twice. The second time was the worst because of stories that were created around me that were not true. And now I have these people who now going to want to be my friend. I told them, listen guys, I don't mind us being colleagues. Outside of this, I'm sorry. So this is when I learned to stand up for myself, saying no, which was very, very difficult. Sometimes I felt like I was a bad person. Eventually, I got into a bit of a depression when I started work. I'm not quite sure if I was feeling alone or lonely, but I don't remember feeling anything like that. But I knew something was not right with me. And for the next 12 years, I would feel that way. When I was done at work, I went straight home. Weekends, I was at home on my couch watching television. During the public holidays, you'll find me in my house on the couch watching television. During December, the festive season, while everybody's gone out having a great time celebrating the December festive, I'll be in the house the entire month that I am not working during December. And again, go back to work. My routine was just the same. The only time that I would release my, oh, is it relief? The only time I would relieve myself is when I would go to the beach, get myself a cone of ice cream, sit by the pier and get the sea breeze, smile a little bit when I see parents and their children, and then I will go home straight to my couch. So I think if I am being honest with myself, I think I was experiencing some kind of depression, and that depression kind of like pulled me away completely from other people, to a point where I started feeling the enjoyment of being by myself, the benefits of being by myself, which is, by the way, when you don't have friends, you don't spend a lot of money. Yeah. And you are not often in trouble with anybody. And three, you always have a lot of money. I must repeat that. And so I was enjoying that. I was enjoying that a lot. It allowed me to do whatever I wanted. If I wanted to take a vacation, snap of a finger, book a ticket, I'm out of there. And I liked that freedom. I also liked the freedom of not being in a relationship, because in a relationship, you answer a lot of questions that I used to see other people answer whenever they went out. Let's say I'll be sitting in a restaurant minding my own business, and some dude that sits next to me gets a phone call. It's a girlfriend or wife. Where are you? Who you with? When you coming back? Why is that person? And you see the frustration in their faces, and I would smile by myself saying, well, I don't have to go through all of that. So I'm not saying that I'm against relationships. I am more of a person that says, if it happens, it happens, like it has before. Unfortunately, the people that I've been in relationships with, they were not on the same wavelength as I am. They did not have the same goals and dreams. And I'm not saying we should be have everything in common 100%. But the things that meant something to me did not mean anything to them. But if you ask me what are the pros and cons of being a loner, the pros and cons of being a loner is that you always have money, you are never in trouble, you never have to answer unnecessary questions from somebody who might be feeling somewhat jealous. And secondly, you don't have to compare yourself with anybody or look at them and look at yourself and think, oh, okay, I can do better. That's envy. Those are the pros. The cons is that if you are a person that enjoys being around people and you are a loner, you will feel alone. You will definitely feel alone. So rather quit being a loner and build some kind of acquaintances with people, maybe that may develop into friendships. I'm not talking to myself on that one because I'm okay. I love being alone. I love my own company, and I also love having money. And lastly, I make my own happiness. Whatever that happiness is, for me, I love traveling, so I make myself happy that way. So those are the reasons why I am a recluse or a loner. Please don't cry for me, Argentina. This was not a pity party either. I'm just answering a question of why I am a loner. So yeah, I hope this is some kind of value to anybody that is in the similar position as myself. You are not wrong. You are valid. And every reason that you have for being by yourself is valid as well. If you're unhappy, probably get therapy and begin the tools that they are going to give you to start reconnecting with people. So that's, please don't leave this video without liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And I'll see you next time with a new video. I have to run, guys, and I'm sweating bullets. I have to go somewhere, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.